Before getting into a lot of details about extreme values, let's try to understand one more aspect, and that is a very important question here. Will a function always have absolute maximum and minimum in restricted domain? That is kind of a very critical question. Now, we can start from example. For example, that is a better way. So let's have a function which is, let's say 1 over x, right? So this is 1 over x, and I'm trying to find extreme value within this interval. And let's say my interval here is from, let's say this point is -2 and this point is +2, right? So the idea here is to find absolute value when x is greater than equals to -2 but x is less than equals to 2. Now in this case, as far as the definition goes, within a closed interval we can have extreme value provided the function is continuous within that interval, right? So in this case we see the function is not continuous. So at these values we cannot have maximum minimum. But indeed in a general function we should try for critical numbers, right? In this case, when you calculate the critical numbers, since there is no turning point in between, so there won't be even any local maximum and minimum value here, correct? So there could be cases where we are given boundary conditions, but still we do not have any local or absolute maximum or minimum as you're seeing here, right? So there is a huge possibility of that. So most of the rational functions of this kind, for example, if I give you a function f of x equals to, let me write down anything like 1 over x plus 5, and I give you a domain in which I'm including this -5 in between. Do you get the point? So -5 I'm including. If I include -5, that means, let us say it is from let's say -10 to +10, right? So I've given you a big domain here. I'm including -5 in between. Then for this particular function, I will not have any absolute maximum or minimum value. But if I have the same function and I tell you x plus 5 within the domain where x is between 0 to 5, for example, correct? In that case, it will have absolute maximum and minimum at 0 and 5, correct? So now in that case, if you find out the value of the function at f of 0, what do you get? You get f of 0 equals to 1 over 5, and f of 5 will be equals to 1 over 5 plus 5 is 10. So clearly this function has absolute maximum and minimum, right? This is like 0.1. This is smaller than this, correct? This is 0.1, right? Some students make a mistake here also. They treat that as bigger. And this is 0.2, right? 0.2. So it is. So we have absolute maximum at the point which is for us 0, and the value is 0.2, and a minimum at a 0.5, and the value is 0.1 if the function is continuous. Why? Because given domain our function is continuous in given domain. Do you understand? Then you have, but if the function is discontinuous, in this case, in the very first case, I should say, here in this case, we do not have, right? Do not have extreme value. Do you understand? Since the function is discontinuous at x equals to -5, so at x equals to -5, the function is discontinuous, and therefore we do not have extreme value. So that's a very critical point which I wanted to bring to your notice before we get into details of finding absolute extreme values, correct? Thank you.